Hey you guys, it's your girl T, and I want to go ahead and shout out Maggie Baruco. Maggie and several people sent me this video that's gone viral. It's of a mother from Baltimore, and basically she's whooping her son's ass on live television. So what went down is basically this mother was sitting in her house, minding her own business, trying to watch the news to find out what was going on in her city that she lives in, which is Baltimore. So as the mother's sitting there sipping tea, all of a sudden she notices her son throwing rocks at the police. So what was going on is that there was a bunch of young people down there where they're rioting. A bunch of kids started throwing rocks at the police. Now I can tell you she's a damn good mother because her son had on a mask and she was still able to recognize his ass. So she's sitting there watching TV. All of a sudden she was looking like, I know that is not Dante's motherfucking ass throwing rocks at the goddamn police. When I tell y'all, she jumped her ass up, ran down to where they were riding, and she got her son, found him, and started beating his ass on live television. This video is a trip. It's causing a lot of controversy. Some folks are knocking the mother, other folks are praising her. I want you guys to go ahead and watch the full video, and I'm going to go ahead and play you guys a news clip. Check this out, and I'm going to come back with the rest of my commentary.
You want to be staged? Take it off. You want to be out here doing this dumb shit? Get the over here. Get over here now. Did you hear what I said? Get the over here. Get over here.
Well, you can hear the woman shout, "I know that's you," before she rips off the teenager's mask. This video, as you can imagine, is getting a lot of attention online. Baltimore's police commission even took notice.
And if you saw on one scene, you had one mother who grabbed their child who had a hood on his head, and she started smacking him on the head because she was so embarrassed. I wish I had more parents that took charge of the kids out there tonight.
So you guys just watched the news clip, and I say kudos to the mother for going down there and getting her son. To me, she saved her son's life. A lot of folks are making so many excuses, saying that she shouldn't have did that, she should have hit him in the car. My thing is, which one is it? Whenever some kids get in trouble, whenever some kids are out there doing some shit that they shouldn't be, the first thing the internet does is say, where are the parents? Where's the mom? Where's the father? Now you have a concerned mom going down there and checking the shit out of her son, and folks want to knock the mother. How about we knock the son for being an asshole and thinking he can go down there and throw rocks at the police? She very well just saved her son's life, because one thing about the police, they do not forget. Just because you're down there in a ski mask doesn't mean anything. They're taking notes, and they might catch your ass slipping later on and put 6 in your back. So I'm glad that the mother went down there. She went to go retrieve her son. He had no business being out there wilding out like that. It's obvious he wasn't raised like that, because if he was raised like that, the mother would have been comfortable sitting in her home watching the shit unfold on TV. But as soon as she saw her child down there, she ran down there and she checked his ass. And I would do the same thing if it was either one of my sons. No reason for them to be down there throwing rocks at the police, rioting, and being agent provocateurs. If you want to protest, that's fine, but all that extra shit, the looting and stuff that's going on, I'm gonna need this young man to have several seats. Of course, this young man is embarrassed. He's gonna be known as the kid who got his ass whooped live on CNN by his mama. But the point is, the boy needs to be thanking his mother that his mother loves him enough to come down there and come get him. Because like I said, this could have ended really, really tragic. And it's a good thing a lot of these police officers right now are showing restraint. And I only believe that they're showing restraint because there's so many cameras down there. There's so many eyes on them. But trust and believe, if there were no cameras, if there was no media there, everybody in that crowd that was throwing rocks and bottles and shit at the police probably would have caught one to the head.
16-year-old Michael. She gave him a piece of her mind and a good portion of her hand. Today, Toya Graham spoke to CBS News producer Christina Ruffini.
I could see the objects being thrown at the police, and I was like in the awe, like, oh my God, you know, this is really happening right here with me. And lo and behold, I turn around and I look in this crowd, and my son is actually coming across the street with this hoodie on and a mask. At that point, I just lost it. And he gave me eye contact. And at that point, not even thinking about cameras or anything like that. That's my only son. And at the end of the day, I don't want him to be a Freddie Gray. But to stand up there and vandalize police officers, get over here now! That's not justice. That's not what, I'm a single mom, I have 6 children, and I just choose not to live like that no more, and I don't want that for him.
What were you thinking when you saw him? Were you shocked? Were you angry?
I was shocked. I was angry. I was shocked, because you never want to see your child out there doing that. There's some days that I'll shield him in the house just so he won't go outside. And I know I can't do that for the rest of my life. He's 16 years old. He's into the streets.
What was his reaction when he saw you, when you kind of pulled him out of the crowd, and then what was that ride home like?
He said to me, Ma, when I seen you, my instinct was to run. I'm a no-tolerant mother. Everybody that knows me know I don't play that, He knew he was in trouble.
Do you think strong mothers can keep this kind of thing from happening?
I think so. I think it wouldn't have been as worse as it was. But once again, we don't know where those mothers was at. A lot of mothers have to provide for their children. You can make that phone call, get home right now. But at the end of the day, they're going to make their own decision. We just, as parents, we just have to follow through to make sure that's where they're supposed to be at. Is he the perfect boy? No, he's not. But he's mine. I'm just grateful that I was able to get him home. And we actually sit back and we watch the news and everything. And he had Facebook friends and everybody, making comments saying, you shouldn't be mad at your mother. You should give her a hug. And by him seeing everything was going on, I just hope, I'm not sure, but I hope that he understands.
So this whole situation is a mess, but I say kudos to the mother for stepping up, for being a real mom, for going down there, grabbing her son, and doing what the hell she had to do as a parent. And unless you're putting money in her pocket, feeding her household, or taking care of her son, I don't think nobody has anything else to say about how she's parenting her child. Anyways, y'all, go ahead and leave a comment. Let's get the discussion popping. Let me know your thoughts on this entire situation. All right, deuces. Hey YouTube, it's your girl Lovely T, and you can show me some love by hitting that subscribe button, watching my previous videos, and following me on social media.